All right, let's talk about applovin. This is an AI-powered ad tech company that was, for a while there, a total Wall Street darling, a true success story. But then, in what felt like the blink of an eye, the company found itself in the middle of an absolute firestorm, thanks to some pretty wild accusations. And the fallout? Well, it was fast, and it was brutal. The company's stock took a nosedive, dropping almost 40% in just 2 weeks. We're talking billions of dollars in value just gone. And of course, that left everyone, from investors to us in the tech world, asking the same thing. What in the world just happened? So you've got this crazy contrast, right? On one hand, you have this celebrated AI giant whose stock went up over 50 times. I mean, they seemed unstoppable. And on the other hand, you have accusers basically saying the whole thing is a house of cards, an empire built on quicksand. To really get what's going on, we need to look at two totally separate but equally explosive sets of allegations. Okay, first up are the financial allegations, and this is a wild one. It's a tale of a complex international money laundering scheme. Now, some folks on Wall Street have a name for this kind of thing. They call it a ghost story. It's a tactic short sellers use to create a narrative that's so dramatic, it absolutely tanks a stock. So the core claim here is that AppLovin's ad platform wasn't just for selling ads. No, the allegation is that it became a kind of high-tech laundromat. The idea is that it was the final stop on a capital conveyor belt, turning billions in dirty money from organized crime into perfectly clean-looking revenue for a company listed on the NASDAQ. And here's how they claim it worked. It's a 4-step journey that sounds like something out of a movie. You start with dirty money from things like collapsed investment schemes in Asia. Then, that cash gets moved through underground banks, gets washed through huge, sketchy losses at VIP gambling tables in Macau, and then, boom, it reappears fully integrated into the global financial system right through AppLovin. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The accusers aren't just telling a story, they're pointing to what they say is evidence. Stuff like these French court documents that apparently cite Chinese police audits, supposedly tracing how millions were shuffled across borders. So they're trying to show this isn't just smoke and mirrors. And of course, a story like this has a cast of characters. The reports claim this was a really complex web of players. They connect AppLovin's main shareholder to the heads of massive collapsed financial platforms, so-called offshore gambling kings, and even enormous international scams. It's a real rogues gallery. All right, so that's the money laundering angle. But believe it or not, there is a whole other side to this. Let's switch gears from financial crime to technical shenanigans, specifically around data privacy. This is a totally different accusation, but it is just as damaging. For this one, a different group steps into the ring. Muddy Waters Research, a really well-known short-selling firm. And their claim is that AppLovin's amazing AI has a secret weapon, an unfair and maybe illegal advantage. They're saying the company's success isn't just about a smart algorithm. It's built on breaking privacy rules. They accuse AppLovin of secretly creating something called persistent identity graphs, or PIGs. You can think of it like a super sophisticated digital fingerprint. They allegedly build a secret file on you by grabbing little bits of data from all over the web and stitching them together, letting them track you everywhere, even when you think privacy settings are protecting you. And the report gets very, very specific about this. It claims AppLovin's code is basically designed to go out and scrape unique user IDs from the biggest tech platforms on the planet. We're talking about Facebook's cookies, Google's analytics IDs, TikTok user IDs, the whole shebang, all supposedly without anyone's permission. And the smoking gun, according to Muddy Waters, it's right there in the code. They say it's all the evidence you need, that AppLovin's entire business model is built on systematically breaking the rules, specifically the terms of service of the very platforms it's supposed to be partners with. So let's pause for a second. We've got two huge, distinct accusations. One is about washing billions of dollars. The other is about scraping user data. The big question is, are they connected? Well, the accusers say, yes, they are, and in a really disturbing way. What the reports allege is this terrifying feedback loop, a vicious cycle. Step 1, dirty money from scams pays for ads on AppLovin. Step 2, AppLovin's secret stash of user data is used to target those ads with laser precision, finding the next round of vulnerable victims. Step 3, those new victims generate more dirty money, which gets funneled right back into buying more ads. It's a self-fueling cycle of crime and revenue. One of the reports just lays it out there, calling this whole thing a perpetual motion machine. A machine powered by a Wall Street company, but fueled by criminal gangs. I mean, that is one heck of a powerful and scary image.
So, when you're hit with reports this devastating, allegations that touch on finance, technology, and basic ethics, you can't just stay quiet. And applovin certainly didn't. They came out swinging.
And that's where we are now, in a standoff. The accusers are painting this dark picture of a criminal empire. But applovin's CEO is firing back, saying this is just a malicious attack from greedy short sellers who are spreading lies just to make a quick buck by destroying their company. But hold on, there is a third, really fascinating theory here. Some analysts are suggesting that maybe this data scraping wasn't some huge secret. What if it was more of an unspoken, industry-wide gray area? A kind of don't ask, don't tell situation where applovin got the data it needed and the big platforms got help hitting their sales targets. It's a classic case of everyone looking the other way, right up until someone turned the lights on. At the end of the day, this whole applovin mess really forces us to ask a huge question for our new age of AI. When you have a complex, black box algorithm that's making billions of dollars, who's actually responsible for looking inside? Who gets to audit the code, check the data, and make sure that what's happening is not just profitable, but legal and ethical? That is the multi-billion-dollar question that this crisis leaves hanging in the air.